Hiya, and welcome back to a Masquerade in the Woods. The game that teaches us that apparently, what is it called? There it is. The game that teaches us that, that having an NSA, that having, I can't think of anything, I don't know how to word it. So anyways, let's just hop right in. The staircase leading down to the basement creaks as we move down in a compact line. Giant checks the right side, Ink the left, and me straight ahead, our flashlights scanning the room from side to side. Right side clear. Left side clear. Clear. We lower our weapons and look around. Several tables line the walls, with one in the center, all of them littered with different junk. Jackpot! Alright, check the room. I'll clear the last one. We nod to the big dog as he moves towards the door on the far wall. We place our flashlights down vertically on the table, much like Giant did when he found me, illuminating the basement in a low light. Then we begin looking through all the stuff. Man, this shit's a fucking mess. With how many different jugs of strange liquids, metal scrap, gadgets, and just straight up trash collected on the desks, we spend maybe a minute just trying to figure out a place to start. Once the last room is checked, Giant returns to join us, closing the door behind him. Alright, we're clear. Is my volume up loud? I don't know. Alright, we're clear. Yeah. Okay. I actually have a bunch of stuff set up, and then we begin searching. 10 minutes of wading through the trash pass looking for anything that could give us a lead on the other missing people, before we have our first breakthrough. Got something. What is it? I honestly can't tell, but it sticks out. He lifts a piece of paper up to us as we approach. A cipher? Seems George had no idea what it was either. I follow Lucas's eyes to another piece of paper on the table. From the looks of it, he was trying to solve it. But across the entire thing in bold letters, someone has written, "What the fuck is this shit?" You think Bloodhound could solve it? You think it could be relevant? Ink turns to me. Why else would it be encrypted? I don't know. Just a puzzle? Is it a Caesar cipher? Is it a Caesar cipher? Oh my god, is it a Caesar cipher? Because if it's a Caesar cipher, I miss doing those. I don't know, just a puzzle. It could be relevant, so we might as well take it. Pretty sure Riot was the one who was good at puzzles, though. The possum shrugs. Let's give Bloodhound a shot at it. Riot must have taught him something, right? Giant nods, swinging the duffel bag off his shoulder and placing the papers in it. Riot? Is that his nickname? Yeah. Right, Ludwig. Why was he called Riot? Honestly, no fucking clue. Giant shakes his head. I don't really know either. Guess it's something I'll have to ask Shepard or River about later. We go back to searching and another few minutes pass before one of us speaks up again. This time it's Ink who has stumbled across something. Holy shit! Me and Giant both look over. The possum lifts up a large piece of metal, turning it in his gloved paws to look it over. I walk over to have a better look, and Mason turns his head to me as I do. It's some sort of collar! It looks more like a supersized handcuff with a metal box attached to it. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Was it being used for what I think it was being used for? Was it being... Oh my god. Oh my god. Wow. I hope it wasn't used for what I think it was used for. I hope it wasn't. It looks more like a supersized handcuff with a metal box attached to it. What's it for? Oh no! Mason shrugs his shoulders and shakes his head. I haven't got the slightest idea. His voice drops to a whisper. Looks kinky though. Anything else around to give any context? Ink hands the collar to me and starts moving stuff around. It's lighter than it looks and sounds hollow when I tap my claws against the box. Oh, thank God. Tools, scrap metal, random gadgets. Oh, blueprints. Can you tell me what it is? Ink looks over at him. In this light, with this mask on? Giant nods. Alright, bag it and anything else you think might be relevant. We can take a closer look once we're back at home base. You got it, Giant. I hand the metal collar back to Mason and fetch the bag. Once it's packed, we return to searching. 20 minutes pass. Then I spot something that looks out of place. On top of a pile of trash lies a book with the text Guests written on the front. It's Pillow Fucker! Oh shit! Hiya. It looks well kept and almost pristine compared to everything else around it. I grab it, opening it up, and realizing right away it's not a regular book. It's a photo album. Do I need a sensor? Guys, I think I've got something. Lucas looks up from the desk he's searching, and Mason comes walking over. What did you find? Okay, thank you. Photos. Victims. Flipping through it, it's filled with photographs of different people, all of them wearing the leather collar and sitting on the floor in the same room I did just 2 days ago. Some of them bleeding, most of them crying, all of them naked. It's difficult to describe how haunting it is to look at them, knowing what happened just moments after the photos were taken. This might be the last photo anyone's ever seen of them. The last moments of their lives captured in an image. None of them deserved what happened to them. No one does. At the bottom, numbers and letters are written in Sharpie along with names. Jason, C10T32. Selma, C10T42. Arvin, C10T24. The fox in that last one looks particularly young. One of them, Charlie, a young-looking dog of some kind, has a big red X over his photo. Lucas tosses his duffel bag over to Ink. Bag it. You got it! I sigh and close it, putting it in the bag. Ink puts the bag down on the floor, then stops as his eyes fall on something half obscured by a newspaper. He moves it aside and picks it up. What's that? His last victim! I tilt my head in confusion. He turns the little piece of paper over, showing it to me. Oh, that is fucked up. That is very fucked up. You're one pretty raccoon, you. Andy C.T. Never got the chance to write the numbers, I guess. What is it? Giant asks from across the room. Raccoon with purple eyes and a bloody forehead. Oh. Let's bag it. We can deal with it later. I can't take my eyes off it, off of my own eyes in the photograph, as Ink slips it into the side pocket of the duffel bag. The tears in them. The look of absolute terror. How pathetic I look. Giant comes up and gently grasps my arm. I turn to him, and behind the mask, his eyes give me a somber look. Let's stay focused, okay? That's over now. I nod, closing my eyes and taking a moment to breathe. You want to show up to the party looking nice, don't you? Don't worry, honey, I'll make it quick. Oh, hell no. I shudder, looking down at my paw. I hate you. I hate you for what you did to me. For what you made me do. For what you made me become. Maybe you did deserve it after all. Mason picks his flashlight back up. Alright, Giant. Pretty sure we've combed through this room pretty thoroughly at this point. Agreed. Does that mean we're leaving? I pick my flashlight up as well. Not yet. We still have a few things left to do. Ink rolls his shoulders. Alright, let's get this over with. Wait, what are we doing? Ink is going to take a look at the body. And live up to my name. You can help me out if you want. It's still here? Shouldn't the police have taken it to the, I don't know, morgue or something? Coroner's office. Ink corrects, leaning back against one of the tables. Right, that. Judging from the state of the place, I'd wager they haven't been inside much at all. Wait, they just put the police tape on the door and left? Giant shrugs, nodding. That'd pretty much be my guess. But the chief mentioned the claws. And someone's been inside to change the locks. Question is, was that the police or someone else? And if it was someone else, did they do it before the police were here or after? Giant lowers his head in contemplation. Doesn't look like they took any evidence, judging from what we found, or at least they haven't been very thorough. Then again, with the state the place is in, it's hard to say. So it can't be the police. But if they have the claws, they must have been in the basement. This is so confusing. Ink shakes his head. Maybe they just didn't want anyone inside? Wouldn't the police tape be enough for that? And why wouldn't they take this evidence, or at least move the body? And why cover the hatch? You're right, Tiny, they can't have been the police. They might be corrupt, but they always clean up the crime scenes. Someone else has been here. And the police let them take care of business before they launched their investigation. Someone's cleaning up for George. Corrupt motherfuckers. Ink whispers through a sigh. Whatever, we can discuss that with Bloodhound later. I'm heading upstairs to have another look and see if we can find anything else. And keep a lookout while Ink does his job. That chemical smell has been bothering me since I was here the first time. Come on, Tiny, I could use a hand down here. Oh, I can't say I'm excited to see the body again, but maybe it'll bring some closure. Or something. That's the thing people say, right? Granted, that's usually at funerals. Alright, sure. I'll be upstairs if you need me. Giant swings the duffel bag over his shoulder and grabs his rifle, nodding at us before making his way upstairs. Ink walks over towards the door on the far side of the room and I follow. Once Giant's out of sight, I lean over to Ink and whisper, Have you noticed him acting different? Giant? I nod. How do you mean? Well, for one, he doesn't stutter. Ink stops. Oh yeah! He doesn't, does he? It's like he's a different person with the mask on. He starts walking again, shrugging. Does he always do that? Dunno, haven't thought about it before. Guess you don't find it as odd as I do. Something to keep in mind when you get in his pants, though. Wow. Wow. Wait, what? Ink snickers and keeps walking, his tail swaying teasingly from side to side. I can't help but think he's rolling his hips more than usual as he walks. The door opens with a familiar creak, and the rancid smell that seeps out immediately makes me gag. I cough, placing upon my chest and turning away. Fucking Christ! Ink puts upon my shoulder, patting it. You're good, Tiny. Just breathe through your mouth. He steps in, putting his flashlight down on the floor vertically again. Oh, that's foul. Oh, that's foul. I take a few deep breaths, following him inside. Almost immediately, my light lands on the source of the putrid stench. Morning, sweetheart. George. Just as I left him. Dead. The collar's still there too, still attached to the pipe. But it's no longer attached to me. Ink kneels down and slides his backpack off, unzipping it. How do you do it? The smell? You'll learn. From experience? He lets out a one-note laugh. I work with old folks. I've taken care of a dead body or two. I lift my arm to cover my nose. Even though I'm wearing the mask, I can still cover up the air holes. Are they usually decomposing? Believe me, it's happened. He snorts. Best healthcare in the state, my fucking ass. You mean I'll have to learn to deal with it if I apply at the hospital? At the rate boomers are going these days? I'd think so. Alright, help me move him to the center. I swallow, trying to ignore the smell as I kneel down next to him. We each grab one foot and start pulling him along the floor. This feels wrong. His body leaves a dark smear behind, and now that I'm this close to him, I see his pants are stained. And I instinctively gag. Ugh, did he? Yeah, they do that. They do? Yeah. It's not so bad once you get used to it. His limbs are also completely limp and pretty heavy. I thought he'd be stiff. Ink turns his head and tilts it to the side. You what now? Stiff, like rigor mortis. How long ago was it you snuffed him? About 2 days ago, I think. Ink huffs as we pull the body. Yeah, nah. Post-mortem rigidity is let go at this point. Usually passes within a couple hours. Huh. We place him in the middle, letting his legs back down. Ink grabs something out of his backpack and puts it on the floor. In the low light, it's difficult to tell what it is. I'm surprised you're taking this so well. So am I. But being around you sure as hell makes it easier. Someone with experience and someone who can lighten the mood. But that's not to say it's easy. Believe me, I'm doing my best not to paint the inside of my mask with today's breakfast. Ink snickers. This is what we do. Get used to it or join Bloodhound in retirement. He leans down and unbuttons George's stained shirt. Why do you retire anyway? He lifts George's torso, threading the shirt off his arms. Says he's too old or something. Not in the same shape he used to be. Really? He looks to be in pretty good shape to me. You know, big arms, broad shoulders. Ink stops to look at me, and through the eye hole of his mask, I see his eyebrow raise. So that's why you were so distracted during the meeting. He snickers, his tone teasing. What? No! That's not... Hey man, I don't judge. I see the way you look at the mutt. No, Look, I like smaller guys too. You coming on to me now, Tiny? Ugh. I groan, burying my masked face in my paws. His teasing never lets up, does it? Let's save the flirting for later, alright? Like I said, timing is key. But hey, first lesson in dealing with corpses. Keep your sense of humor up. It's needed. I sigh, shaking my head to get rid of the blood swelling up in my cheeks and change the subject. How old is he anyway? 33, I think? That's old enough to retire? Believe me, Tiny, this kind of work takes a toll on the body. Oh! He places George's arms back down on either side of his cold torso, then stops as he looks down at his pants. Ah, shit. What? He points a gloved digit at the reddish-brown spot around George's pocket. Oh. Strangled, right? Not cut? Yeah, that's my blood. He sighs. Should have brought some bleach or something. You're definitely going to be able to get DNA results off of that. Except I'm not in the system. I can't be. I'm not from here. I don't think we have to worry about that. Are you insane? It's your blood, Tiny. I'm pretty sure my police department and yours don't have much contact. What? You're completely off the grid or something? Something like that. Ink shrugs his shoulders and shakes his head. If you say so, but it's on you if you get caught. And you better not rat us out if you do. Promise. He reaches back into his bag and pulls something else out, placing it next to the first device. Hold the flashlight up for me, would you? I do as he says, holding my flashlight up to illuminate George's chest. Reminds me of trying to help Dad fix the car back in the day. Only this is different. So, what are we doing? Just checking it? Leaving a message. He picks one of the devices up. I thought we already did that with the whole, kicking the door down. He shakes his head. That wasn't a message. He lifts the device in one paw. This is a message. Oh, shit. He leans down over the corpse and presses the electric shaver to George's exposed chest, shaving the fur off in a square. Once the fur is gone, Mason puts the shaver back in his backpack, picking the second device up instead. This one larger. A box with a cord connected to a large needle with a container on the top. A tattoo gun? Yup. It buzzed up and Mason gets to work. Isn't this a bit excessive? He's a kidnapper, Tiny. It's standard procedure. They take our claws, our teeth, our freedom. We take their dignity. Expose them for who they really are. Kidnappers. Torturers. Rapists. Murderers. Behind that twisted facade of normality. My mind can't escape the irony of us wearing masks, breaking into a dead person's home and defiling his deceased body. I suppose you and I both have worn masks now, George. Only mine more literally than yours, and yours was just ripped off. Difference between you and us is that we're doing this for a good cause. Right? Once the words are in place, Ink holds the needle out to me. Wanna do the honors? The what? Ink unties the little badge tied around his arm and tosses it over to me. That's our calling card, and Bloodhound wants us to leave the mark on him. We usually do it to living criminals when we catch up to them, but in this circumstance, well, you know. Plus, you're part of the team. You want me to tattoo the emblem on him? Mm-hmm. Just center of his chest will do. I hesitantly take it, looking down at the badge. Ink unzips his pocket and takes his hip flask back out. By the way, don't tell Bloodhound about this, aight? He swivels the bottle in his paw. Oh yeah, sure. Once the cap is unscrewed, he tilts his mask up and takes a mouthful. I twirl the needle between my fingertips. You sure about this? I look up to meet his obscured eyes as he swallows. Positive. Fuck you, George. Ink nods approvingly as I hand the needle back to him. Not bad. Not bad at all. He slaps me on the shoulder. For a rookie. The shaver and the tattoo gun are placed back in his backpack and he zips it up. But I can't stop thinking about what I've just done, even if it is George. Guess I'm officially part of the team. Ink stands back up, taking his flashlight with him and turning it around the room. Looks like we're out of luck on your hooks, though. My claws? I whisper. Ink nods as he gets off my knees too, joining him in scanning the room with my torch. And just like Ink said, they're nowhere to be found. Not where I saw them land after George tossed them aside, not at any of the corners, not in the pool of excrement. Nowhere. Fuck. Hey! Ink carefully steps over the pool on the floor. We'll get him back. One way or another. No, we won't. Hey, we will. How? We have to break into the evidence locker itself. Even though I can't see his face, his body gives off a smirk. Never say never, Tiny. I can't help but chuckle at the lunacy of the proposal. Doc would have us killed. Ink starts chuckling too. Nah, she wouldn't kill us. Might cut our nuts off, though. What? Come on, let's go see if Giant has found anything fun. He walks out of the room towards the stairs. Hey, wait, you're not serious, right? Ink just shrugs and keeps walking, his tail slowly swaying from side to side. Right? Castration. Yo. Hey, it's me. Sup, faggot. Not much, just taking it easy. Thought I'd give you a call. You home alone? Yeah. Eric was going out with some friends. I said I didn't feel like coming. Okay, and the truth is... What? Tiny, I've known you long enough to tell when you're lying through your fucking teeth. So, what's really up? Well, Eric didn't want me to come. What? Why? His friends think they say I spoil the mood. Cody, it's fine, really. I don't mind. I enjoy the alone time. His friends sound like total. I'm not saying that word. There. Anyway, how are you? I'm fine, Tiny. I sound like a total sap saying it, but I miss you up here. Place just isn't the same without your clumsy ass around. I miss you too, Miles. How's Dad? Seems to be doing alright last time I checked with him. Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Red flags. Red flags. Okay, total red flag scene 3. Seems to be doing alright last time I checked in with him. Tell him I said hi, okay? I'll be back home in August for his birthday. Fuck yeah, you will! I'll make sure we all have a proper reunion when you do. We'll go get some of those jalapeno fries I know you love, just like old times. Yeah. Just like old times. Alright, well, I gotta go. Talk to you later, Tiny. Yeah, see you. Oh, and Cody? Yeah? Stay out of trouble, alright? Don't do anything stupid. Well, I'm just gonna go ahead and pull it up. We walk back up the creaking steps, making our way down the hallway. Ink leads the way. Giant, we're back! We turn the corner back into the dirty living room. The hell? But Giant isn't there. Yo, Giant! Yeah, no answer. The fuck's he up to? I take a peek inside the bedroom, but no one's there except that bizarre mannequin. You think he went back to the car? Fuck if I know. He's gotta be around here somewhere. I swear if he ditched us out here. In here. We both turn towards the kitchen. We step through the trash and around the corner where Giant stands bent over the sink, his mask on the floor next to him. The whole room reeks of chemicals and sick. Okay. I'm trusting you on this. Besides, even if a penis does show up, it's not too big of a deal. It's just, I'll overreact. The room reeks of chemicals and sick. The same chemical scent I smelled on George. Giant. He looks over at us for a second before a deep guttural roar escapes his throat and echoes off the walls. Even in the dark, I can see the matted fur under his eyes and makeup smearing down his cheeks more than before. He arches back, shutting his eyes tight. Fucking hell, man, what happened? The only response Giant manages is another awful groan as yet another wave of barf comes streaming out his open muzzle. If his hair wasn't so short, I'd offer to hold it back for him. Ink steps over, putting his flashlight away and patting him on the back. So much for avoiding leaving DNA evidence, I guess. I follow him, placing my flashlight down on the dinner table before bending down to pick the mask up off the floor. Dude, this place isn't even that bad. You were doing great. What the fuck happened? Giant pants, spitting a couple times down the sink before answering in a quiet, groany tone. The fridge. I couldn't handle the fucking fridge. Ink tilts his head. What's in the fridge? Really, dude? The big guy can't handle some spoiled food? Not food. Giant gags again, but it seems he's run out of content to evict. Ink sighs, pulling out his hip flask and unscrewing the cap. Hiya. Here, clean your throat and clean yourself up, alright? I'm not sure hard liquor is the best thing to wash away the taste with. He needs some... Son of a bitch. Do I want to do the Vine? Do I want to read this normally or do the Vine? Do the meme. Son of a bitch. He needs some milk! Miles always said milk, at least when he made me take one too many shots over drinking games. Something to do with pH values, I think. He needs some milk. Though to be fair, the chance of us finding fresh milk in a place like this is probably less than 0. Is milk even allowed in a place like this? What am I saying? I had bacon for breakfast. I guess you should ask about that at some point. Though considering the ethics surrounding carnivorous diets are most likely normal to everyone but me, asking about it might make me come off as a complete lunatic. I shake my head to rid myself of the thought and return to reality. At least this reality. Giant nods to the possum, taking the bottle in his big paw. Holds it up to his muzzle but hesitates. A deep sigh rolls over his chest as he closes his muzzle and throws his head back. Unlike Ink, one gulp seems to be enough for the big dog as he quickly lowers it back down and swallows hard. Ironically, he looks to be on the verge of throwing that back up as well. I feel you, Lucas. God, what do you put in here? Ink shrugs as he steps over to the slightly ajar fridge door. Whatever I got at home. He grabs the handle and opens it further. I wipe a small stain off of Giant's mask, preparing to hand it back over to him. Just as I'm about to, something else grabs my attention. What the fuck? A rustling from behind, but before I can react, someone grabs me. No. I'm yanked off balance back into someone as their arms wraps around my throat. I choke, my coughing coating the inside of my mask and spit in warm air. Giant's mask falls to the floor, audibly hitting the wooden planks and scurrying off to the side. Giant and Ink both spin around at the sound. The canine immediately reaches for his rifle while Ink pulls his pistol out. Whoa, whoa, whoa! What the fuck's going on? I'm not sure Shepard mentioned anything about this in his prep. Fuck. I flail, reaching for the gun stuffed in my waistband, but they're faster. They grab it, pressing the barrel against the hard plastic of the mask. My paws instead fly up to grasp at the arm held around my throat, pulling on it to make space for my windpipe. Game's up, boys. Guns on the table. Now. Question. If we're going to tase him... Question. I have a question. Anyone, feel free to answer this. I have a question. If we're going to tase him, can we modify the taser and then zap him in the back, but we modified the taser so that way we're sending 10 million volts of... Not 10 million, like... Let's think realistically. So that we're sending 10,000 volts of electricity into his spine. Can we modify the taser? And just... Oh, god damn it. Ooh, that's not a good idea. Into his balls. Oh shit, we're sending 10,000 volts of electricity into his nuts. That sounds painful. I should know that, but I don't. So, thank you for correcting me. He shouts right in my ear in an accent I can't place. I can't see him, but I can smell him. And it's a fitting smell for a place like this. He reeks not only of musk, but of that same chemical scent I keep smelling. Like an uncleaned gym turned supply closet. Put the gun down! Let him go! The man shifts his grip and pushes the cold metal against my ear, folding it uncomfortably. I'm not asking again. He snarls and huffs impatiently. I feel his torso rise and fall against my back, his heart beating as fast as mine. My wrists are already tingling with the adrenaline pumping through my veins. They both stand firm, guns aimed at the man, and subsequently at me. Giant and Ink on one side of the table, me and the man on the opposite. Never been at the business end of a barrel before, let alone 3. I hear him tighten his grip around the handle, and I squirm in his grasp, pulling out his arms. Let go of me! Stand still, motherfucker. I said, let him go! Giant's chest heaves up and down with each rapid breath. Ink keeps stealing glances at the anxious canine, finger on the trigger. My panicked breathing steams up the inside of the mask, causing it to stick to my already damp fur. Do it. But then something in the back of my brain turns like a light switch, and everything feels calm, peaceful. I know what's about to happen, and yet I'm okay with it. This is it. A dirty kitchen in the middle of nowhere. Managed to get out once. Guess twice was too much to ask for. 1. Are you fucking deaf? Let go of him! I kinda always imagined I'd die alone. Maybe in my room, an overdose or something. Alcohol poisoning, maybe. Not some distant place in a distorted reality surrounded by talking animals. Maybe this is all just a bad dream after all. 2. He presses the cylinder into my skull. I close my eyes. 3. I miss you, Miles. I'll see you on the other side. Alright. I opened my eyes back up to see Giant tossing the rifle onto the kitchen table. You two rat on the table. No. In cuffs, tossing the gun down next to Giant's. The room falls silent for a moment as we all wait, listening to the heavy rain. About time someone caught up with you fuckers. Who the fuck are you? Oh shit. BMPD fuckface. Police? You, get in the corner. He points the pistol at Giant, then waves it in the direction of the stove. Without breaking eye contact with the man, Giant slowly steps back into the corner. With how large he is, however, he's only a meter from the table. Okay, now you... He swivels the pistol to point at Ink. Open the drawer! Ink looks down at the counter next to him. Which one? Fucking all of them. No, do it. Oh god, I should not be doing that voice. Nah, Amethyst. You remember that one character from Monsters, Inc.? You know that one character from Monsters, Inc.? Who was like, Mike Wazowski, did you finish your paperwork? I'll be watching. Always watching. Oh god, that voice fucks up my throat. That voice fucks up my throat. He waves the gun flimsily in the air as Ink begins opening each door slowly. Giant, meanwhile, looks around the room, chest still rising and falling at a fast, uneven pace. With his makeup trickling down the sides of his muzzle, it's difficult to see his face in the low light. The only light source coming from the fridge, its door slightly ajar, letting a small sliver escape through the crack. Don't you get any fucking ideas? Giant doesn't answer, instead locking eyes with me. Even in the dark, I can see the stress and fear in them. I'm gonna bite him! He's just as scared as I am, but at the same time, I'm calm. Like two different sides of me, fighting for the correct response. One tugging towards flight, the other tugging towards fight. What am I looking for exactly? Bottle. 20 ounces. Doesn't sound much like police work to me. What was that, rodent? Oh, I added it today, Raj. I'm a marsupial, you asshole! Ink turns to face him fully. If you're looking for a rodent to stick your disgusting little needle dick in, there's one prepped and ready for you downstairs. Hey, yo! I'm no fucking queer. His arm shoots back up, aiming a gun at the possum. And neither was Georgie. In his aggravated state, his grip around my neck loosens. I slip my right paw down from his arm, almost like I'm moving on instinct, almost like I'm not entirely in control of my own actions. Might have been into some fucked up shit, but he wasn't a faggot. He swivels the gun to gesture, emphasizing his point. I'm not sure you knew him too well. My claw slides through the hole of the zipper slider of my pocket. Giant locks eyes with me, looks down at my paw, then back up. He gives me a small nod. Ink opens another drawer, sticking his paw inside and pulling out a small bottle that looks like it's full of piss. What the fuck? Is this it? I carefully and as quietly as I can unzip my pocket. Yeah, that's it.
Now slowly come here and put it on the table.
Ink takes a step forward.
Slowly, I said. Alright. Jeez.
Even at an even more sluggish pace, Ink takes another step. I meet his gaze through the eye holes of his mask, catching him wink. My paw slips inside the opening in my pants, wrapping my fingers around the device. Ink places the bottle down on our side of the table, then slowly steps back. Once back on his side of the table, he looks over at Giant. The big dog raises a paw, scratching his scalp. He also folds his left ear down in the process. I feel out the button, tightening my grip.
Hey, Mr. Policeman. Fuck off.
What's in the bottle?
None of your fucking business is what's in the bottle. Let's go for a little walk, you and I.
He whispers in my ear. He pushes me forward towards the table, keeping his arm around my neck.
Alright, fine, I get it.
We stop just in front of the middle of the room. How about this then? What did the idiot shout when he saw a goose?
What?
I pull the taser out of my pocket. Duck! I throw my arm backwards, slamming the taser into him and press the button. Every muscle in his body immediately tenses up, his finger squeezing the trigger. It clicks, but nothing follows. No shot goes off. I left the safety on. I feel the taser puncture skin, and when his thighs clamp shut around my paw, I know I've hit the target. I let go of the taser, pulling my paw back out and manage to claw myself free from his grip, throwing myself to the floor and crawling up to the counter on the side. At the same time, Giant steps forward, putting his paws on the other side of the table and flips it. It tumbles into the air, slamming into the stunned man and throwing him to the floor. Ink runs forward, sliding across the floor on his knees, and in one slick move, picks Giant's mask up off the floor and tosses it to him before stepping just in front of me. Giant catches his mask and slips it back over his face, rapidly walking towards the flipped-over table. Ink grabs me by the shoulders, looking deep into my eyes through the mask. It's not until he touches me that I notice how much I'm shaking. You hurt? In the panic of everything going on around us, my throat won't allow me to speak. All I can manage as a response is to shake my head. Giant reaches back to unholster the handcuffs on his belt, grabbing the table with his other paw. But the man underneath has other ideas. Once the table is off of him, he sits up, something sharp and glistening in his grip. Giant! And just as quickly, he shoves it into Big Dog's side. Aw, shit. Giant erupts in a horrible scream, somewhere between a deep bark and a whining howl. His right arm flies up before slamming back down into the man's skull hard, filling the room with the horrible crack of knuckle against bone. The man instantly goes limp on the floor. Me and Ink immediately get up and run over. Ink grabs the handcuffs from Giant's belt, bending down to restrain the man. Giant stumbles back against the counter, his paws on the knife sticking out of his abdomen. Fuck! Blood from the wound is seeping out, staining his t-shirt black and plastering it to his fur. Shit, are you okay? Giant's big arms wrap around my small frame, lifting me up off the ground. My nose is immediately filled with that sweet cinnamon scent, mixed with just a hint of musk. Are you? Yeah, I'm fine. I manage to squeal out. His grip on me slowly loosens, placing me back down on the ground. We both look down at the handle sticking out of his abdomen. It's fine, it's not that deep. You're bleeding! He nods, sucking in air through his teeth. I'll be fine. He answers, his breathing heavy. His paw wraps around the handle. No, leave it in. You'll lose a lot more blood if you pull it out. He stops, looking down at me. What? I saw it in a movie. Without turning around, Ink speaks up behind me. Normally I'd agree with you, Tiny, but we don't know where the fuck that knife's been or what it's been used for. It's not worth risking the infection. Are you sure? I mean, right here? The sooner the better. Giant sighs, taking his mask back off, his paws shivering. Alright. Give me something to bite down on. Ink finishes cuffing the man and turns to us, pulling his mask off too, and grabbing his hat out of his backpack. I follow their lead, pulling my mask off too. Finally being able to see the guy, he appears to be some sort of dog or wolf. It's difficult to tell the difference in the dark. A red bandana covers his mouth and snout, blood painting his dark face fur even darker. We don't have a lot of options here. He shrugs. So, we'll have to improvise. He reaches down and pulls the knife on his hip out, handing it to me. Hold this for me, will ya? I nod, grabbing the knife. And be careful with it! He unbuckles the sheath from his belt, holding it up in front of Giant's muzzle. Open wide! Giant looks at it with suspicion. Oh, come on. Not like it's your first time having a sheath in your Hey, yo! Yeah, no. Here's the thing. Here's my thing. I've had training in what to do whenever it comes to, like, a stab wound or whatever. If possible, leave the knife in. Leave the weapon that was used to attack you, if at all possible. Leave it in. However, because of, you know, the whole infection thing, whole dirty knife thing, what Giant should do, what Lucas should do is, and this is something that Mason can do, is actually take your knife and cut off a portion of your shirt, like a sleeve or something, and then as soon as Lucas pulls the knife out, stuff the wound with the ripped up shirt. Now, it's going to hurt like hell. It is going to hurt like hell. If it was on his arm, also cut off circulation. It is going to hurt like hell. But that is one way to do it. Oh, come on. It's not like it's your first time having a sheath in your mouth. He darts his eyes at Ink. Now open up! Giant huffs in frustration, lowering his jaw. Ink places the leather sheath between his teeth and Giant bites down. Good boy. Yeah, now, keep in mind, I received this at a trade... I got this training at a trade school. I was studying IT at a trade school. Not nursing. But they still made us... take this, stop the bleed training. The possum wraps his paw around the handle, swaying with each breath Giant takes. Giant tenses at his touch. Ready? Worth. Giant mumbles through the leather. He lifts his open paw up to me. I look up at him, a bit shocked he'd offer. He looks back down at me with a sheepish grin, his teeth a stark white in the low light. I smile back at him reassuringly, placing my paw in his. I guess that confidence isn't entirely limited to the mask. Oh, it's going to hurt like hell. Should've left it to Doc. What the fuck did you do? Hey, I'm fucking talking to you. Cody! Did... Oh. Hell no! I'm just gonna go ahead and make that 5. Oh. Hell no. Okay, you know what, Pack, Mr. Developer, Mr. Pack be Packin', I have a question. Can I kill Eric? Can I just give him a good ol' 1-2 combo? Can I wallop him? Can I take a chancla and beat the fuck out of him with it? Get a fucking grip on yourself. Do you hate me so bad that you have to do this to yourself? No, You're fucking nothing without me, you know that? I got you out of that nasty town, and this is how you repay me! You refuse to get a job, you refuse to go see my friends! Junkla always wins. No. So here's what Cody needs to do. Here's what he needed to do. He needed to go out and find a nice piece of board, like a cutting board. Then he needed to go and drill holes. And, drill holes in it. And then whack him on the side of the head with it. Because here's the thing. It's a hard surface that we'll be hitting him on the side of the head with. So already it's going to hurt like hell. But we're also drilling holes in it, and that'll cut down on wind resistance. Physics. Refuse to get a job, refuse to go see my friends. You should be thankful of even putting up with your bullshit. Where the fuck do you think you're going? Hey, get the fuck back here now! Cody! Ooh, I don't like that sound. Steady, steady. Giant grips my paw tighter, squeezing the circulation out of my fingertips. I tell him to ease up, but considering the circumstances, I'm not in a situation to complain. Each breath leaving his heaving chest is underlined by a deep growl, emphasizing the agony he must be in. Ink slowly pulls on the handle, the blade sliding out centimeter by centimeter. His breathing starts picking up speed. You're doing great, I say in a low voice, rhythmically squeezing his paw in an effort to steady his breathing. He closes his eyes, and slowly his breathing levels out. He suddenly groans loud, panting through the leather. His fist slams into the countertop. Fuck! Sorry! Didn't mean to twist it! The final centimeter of steel slides out, and Ink places it down on the counter. Alright, almost done. His flask comes back out. Its contents slushing in about the inside. Ink rolls Giant's shirt up just enough to see the wound, exposing his stomach, now more black than brown. Well, he was right that it doesn't look too deep. It's still a large gash. He might need stitches for that. Then again, it's difficult to see exactly with all the blood-soaked fur in low light. Shame to waste good spirit, but you need this more than I do right now. Hang in there, big guy. This'll sting. He tips the bottle, pouring some of the clear liquid down the side of Giant's belly. His eyes go wide before shutting tight, tears forming along the insides. It manages to wash some of the blood off his fur, but some of it is already oxidized. The leather sheath in his muzzle does a good job stopping him from biting his own tongue off, even if he punctures it with his own... I just felt numb for a second, even after he punctures it with his large fangs. As for sound suppression, however, it's less effective. A long, high-pitched whine echoes throughout the kitchen, like a dog in pain, which I guess makes sense. Amethyst, is that your favorite redeem? His grip on my paw tightens again. Like, I'm not mad or upset about it. I'm just curious, is that your favorite redeem? Ink only pours for a few seconds before he screws the cap back on. Yeah, I'm going to assume that it is your favorite redeem. Do we have anything to cover it with? Ink swings his backpack off his shoulder and opens it, pulling out a roll of duct tape. Really? It's the best we've got. No. Ink. Take your jacket off, rip one of the sleeves off, stuff the wound. He pulls a strip of tape out, using his fangs to bite it off. Man, River's seriously gonna have me neutered for botching this shit. Giant pants as Ink applies the piece of duct tape. Don't worry, I'll keep her off your back. Worst wound I got. Hang on. I actually have to think about this. The fact that I have to think what the worst wound I got probably isn't a good thing. It was either when I broke my arm when I was... Yeah, either it was when I broke my arm when I was 14, or when I got body slammed onto a rock when I was 10. Yeah, I was 10 when I got body slammed. It was either 10 or... No, I was 10. Yeah, fun fact. I got body slammed onto a rock. Busted my elbow open. Don't worry, I'll keep her off your back. You better. You owe me for using up the last of my booze. Giant chuckles and immediately grunts in pain. I'll buy the next round at the Golden Stag. Deal. Ink says as he thumbs the piece of duct tape in place. Yeah, no, I am serious. Like, I even have the scar to prove it. There was also the time that I sanded my right index finger. I was using a sander, and like one of the knuckles on my index finger, I sanded the skin off of it. It hurt like hell. I didn't tell anybody. Then the teacher walks up to me during lunchtime and he's like, "Hey, hey, hey, next time that happens, you need to tell me." And I'm like, "Okay." I was about to start crying. Not because of the pain, because it really didn't hurt, but because he was mad. Ink says he thumbed. Yeah, I already read that. We spend the next few minutes gathering our stuff back up. Flashlights, guns, taser. We also take the bottle of yellow liquid with us, deciding we can figure out what's in it later, and why this guy wanted it so badly. Speaking of, the man in question still lies handcuffed, knocked out on the floor. One hell of a punch you managed. Knocked him out cold. Giant looks up from fiddling with the tape on his stomach, after being stabbed nonetheless. And I thought it was impressive enough to flip a dinner table. Didn't realize you were that strong. He chuckles under his breath, looking off to the side. Ah. Oh no. Well, you know, they aren't just for show. Ink snickers, looking at me and wiggling his eyebrows. I huff, avoiding eye contact. Ink steps over to the wolf, pulling the bandana down his face. Anyone recognize him? Not sure why he'd ask me. Not like I know anyone around here. Giant steps closer to have a better look, and shakes his head. I do the same. Well, he ain't police, that's for sure. How can you tell? He looks back at me. Normally, I'd say police don't hold a gun up to someone's head, but I've seen those motherfuckers do worse. Nah, this guy's not a cop, because he doesn't have a gun on him. He lifts his wet t-shirt up to his stomach, showing his midsection. And that he doesn't have a gun on him. Alright, we're going to take a little bit. Which explains why he grabbed yours. Also his behavior in general, you know, acted more like a drug addict than a cop. Ink starts digging through the wolf's pockets. What I'm wondering is how we got in. Easy, we busted the door down, right? Okay, then when did he arrive? Probably while we were all in the basement. Should have kept a lookout upstairs. I'm sorry. No, it's not your fault. Shep will be pissed we didn't. Yeah. He sighs. You're in enough trouble as it is, Giant. I'll take the fall. No, it's my fault. Nuh-uh. It's our fault. You and I. I'll take the blame. But you better make that 2 rounds at the stag. Giant just shakes his head. I'm not giving you a choice on this, you know. Do we have to admit fault in the first place? Couldn't we just say Giant kept watching and we got jumped anyway or something? I mean, I don't blame you for what happened. We couldn't really see it coming. Even if I legitimately thought I was going to die there for a second. Ink chuckles, his paws still rummaging through the wolf's pants. Trust me, you do not want to lie to Bloodhound. He has the nickname for a reason. I look to Giant for more clarification. He's, very good at finding out the truth. He'll sniff you out. Like a bloodhound. I guess they all have their reasons for their names. Though I still don't know why Ludwig's called Riot. Ink leans back from the wolf, rattling something in his paw. No badge, no license, no wallet. We might have just found is covering George's ass. The keys dangle from a ring wrapped over one of his fingers. Giant nods, picking his mask up. Alright, we'll try them on our way out. Let's photograph him, uncuff him, and leave him here. We don't take him with us? He shakes his head. Too risky. Agreed. Mark and ditch? Mark and ditch. we're going to leave off here tonight. Eh, 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 eh. Ooh, 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 ooh. Alrighty. Well, stay safe, have a good night, and I will see you all tomorrow.